Mario and Oreales Rubio had just fled Cuba. They set up a home in Miami in the U.S. state of Florida. In 1971, they had a son named Marco Antonio Rubio. As a child, Rubio heard stories from his grandfather, stories about Cuba and its revolutionaries. In 2012, he even wrote about it in his book, An American Son. He said, and I'm quoting, "I boasted I would someday lead an army of exiles to overthrow Fidel Castro and become president of a free Cuba." President of a free Cuba. That was Marco Rubio's dream. 14 years later, he is the U.S. Secretary of State, and his dream of becoming the president of Cuba? Well, it doesn't look like wishful thinking anymore. And why do I say that? Well, look at this post by Donald Trump. This is on Truth Social. A random user suggested that Marco Rubio could be the president of Cuba if the government falls, and Trump reposted it with a comment. Sounds good to me. That's what the US president said. Sounds good to me. Looks like the beginning of a budding bromance, which is surprising. There was a time when Trump called Rubio Little Marco. Now he's rooting for him. Of course, this is not literal. What Trump means here, or so we hope, is that Marco Rubio could decide Cuba's future. And we say this because there's a backstory. Last week, the US military struck Venezuela. They captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and brought him to the US. It was a daring operation, and Marco Rubio played a central role in it. With his Latin American heritage, he was key to the Venezuelan operation. And now he has his eyes on another country, the homeland of his parents, Cuba.
Suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent, senile men, and in some cases, not senile, but incompetent nonetheless. It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way, they were, all of the guards that helped protect Maduro, this is well known, their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems that Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba. They tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, yeah, look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least.
So, president of free Cuba. Well, that may be a meme for now, but there's another presidency that could be within Marco Rubio's reach. The US presidency. I know it's still too early. The next presidential election in the United States will happen only in 2028. And the Republican Party does not have a face yet. Since this is Donald Trump's second term in office, he cannot run for the third time. So they need someone new. Until now, all eyes were on Vice President J.D. Vance. He was seen as a likely successor. But now there's a new name in the fray, Marco Rubio. Reports suggest his name is being discussed in the Republican circles. So can Marco Rubio run in 2028? Will he get the nomination? No one knows. The US elections, like I said, are still some time away. Rubio will have to raise money. He'll have to talk to donors. He'll have to run for primaries. It's a long way to go. So all of this is speculation for now. But the internet has already given its verdict. Trump called him the president of Cuba, but the memes have given him many more titles. The viceroy of Venezuela, the Shah of Iran, even the governor of Minnesota. At this point, Rubio is not just a top diplomat, he's a standby administrator. Anytime a government wobbles, anytime a regime looks like it could fall anywhere in the world, there's Marco Rubio already practicing the acceptance speech. So we say, why stop there? Why limit him to countries with actual borders? Why not make him interim ruler of Latin America, caretaker emperor of South America, acting president everywhere the State Department is concerned? It would be cleaner, faster. Most importantly, it saves the internet a lot of Photoshop work. Because let's be honest, in 2028, Marco Rubio may or may not run for president, but on the internet, he's already running the world.
The world doesn't fit